Hey, this is Greg Auman for TampaBay.com, wrapping things up here at Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut, site of another loss for USF. That's 4 straight here at Rentschler. All of them difficult, and this one was right there with the rest of them. A tough night for USF and BJ Daniels. The defense played really well, bouncing back from the tough game they had against Pittsburgh. Held UConn in check, held them to 253 yards, held them without an offensive touchdown, but it still wasn't enough as UConn escaped with a 16-10 victory. USF had 5 trips inside the UConn 35-yard line that came away with no points at all. That included their last try. Bulls had a 32-yard BJ Daniels run to get to the UConn 30 with about 4 minutes to go. They wound up with a 4th down and 7 with about 2.5 minutes to go. BJ Daniels had Sterling Griffin open going across the middle, but threw the ball low. Griffin had to go down to get it, gained only 3 yards, and UConn was able to run out the clock. A couple of real costly turnovers tonight for the Bulls. The first one came after a 79-yard kickoff return by Marcus Shaw at the end of the first quarter. They got over there to that old Voodoo 5 end zone, and 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. BJ Daniels went to pitch it to Joel Miller on the option, and the pitch went behind Miller, and UConn recovered to spoil that scoring opportunity. And then after USF had taken a lead, opened the second half real strong, went all the way down the field. BJ Daniels went 5 for 5 for 62 yards, then ran it in for a 22-yard touchdown and a 10-6 lead. UConn comes back, cuts the lead to 10-9. USF gets the ball, and Darryl Scott fumbles inside his 10-yard line. UConn's Byron Jones scoops it up and goes 10 yards for the touchdown. That gave him a 16-10 lead, and that's all it took. USF's offense got it 5 more times, was able to pile up 166 yards on those drives, but again, no points. So it's a frustrating night. This was a UConn defense that had given up 948 yards through the air in the last 2 games. Couldn't have a single play longer than 23 yards throwing the ball. No luck going downfield, no downfield passing. USF's longest play, as I said, was 23 yards. Western Michigan, against this same UConn team, had 7 plays longer than 23 yards and was able to beat the Huskies. So another tough loss that puts them at 0-2 in the Big East. You should say that it takes them out of Big East contention, but Connecticut a year ago was 0-2 and came back and won the Big East title and a share of the title and went to a BCS Bowl. But for all reasonable expectations, this takes USF out of the Big East hunt. They go home and face another tough team in a 5-1 Cincinnati team that beat Louisville today. So USF's got its work cut out, has to get a complete game from its offense, its defense, and special teams if they want to be able to stop this losing streak at 2 games. Wrapping things up in East Hartford, this is Greg Auman for TampaBay.com.